Hello everybody, welcome to the Black and White View on YouTube, edition number 2, and before we get into this latest edition, I want to quickly recap on the first one, the inaugural edition. It done quite well, I'm really pleased with it. It done better than I expected to. It got just over 400 views now, so I'm really happy with that. A lot of fans got involved in the comments section, sparking a good debate in the comments, which was good to see. And also on social media, where a lot of people really fell into that trap of only looking at the title before actually watching the video, where I explained why Slav was the right man for the job in the video, but people looked at the title and thought I was suggesting something completely opposite, which wasn't the case. So hopefully today I don't do that. Today's edition is going into depth about the current difficulty with the goalkeepers at the moment. So again, I'm probably going to brace myself. It's going to spark another load of debate on social media. People are going to probably moan, have their opinion, which is all fair enough and all in good spirit really. As long as people don't get too aggressive towards me, I don't see it as a problem. So yeah, talking about the goalkeepers, you know, we've had this problem before with goalkeepers, as you can tell. We've got 3 goalkeepers all vying for that #1 jersey this season. 2 of them have played in the league, only one hasn't. That's obviously Sergio Rico. But if you cast your mind back to 2015-16, I think this is to me, it's a very similar story as to the current predicament we're in at the moment with the goalkeepers. As you know, as we all know, we signed 2 goalkeepers really in that summer to add to Marcus Bettinelli. We had also Andy Lonergan, who came in from Bolton, who got released by Bolton, and also Joe Lewis, who got relegated with Cardiff, got relegated with Blackpool, sorry, the season before, but he got released from Cardiff City and joined us on a free transfer. And it's a very similar story where we played all 3 really throughout this. We actually started with Lonergan in goal. And as you all know, Joe Lewis then got a stint in goal, and it was also up and down. Like we don't know, Kit Simons didn't know who his best goalkeeper was, and it's very much a similar story now. We've got Fabry, Rico, and Marcus, who are all very good goalkeepers, all very good, capable keepers of doing well for us if they were, you know, to hold down the position long term. As we all know, Fabry started in goal at the start of the season, and the thing that really ticked me off in particular was really when we went 2-0 down at Palace when Zaha scored that second goal, and then obviously Fabry came out, Zaha went round him and tucked it into an empty net. And then the chance afterwards of, the Marcus Bettinelli chant that came afterwards, I didn't really agree with that. And that's what really got my back up, really. I think if that chant never had happened, I wouldn't have had the problem with it. But I just think when you're a goalkeeper, you're playing your first proper game in the Premier League, and then you let a goal in. Okay, fair enough. He probably shouldn't have came out. But also, in my opinion, I respect him for actually sticking with a decision, coming out and actually being brave about it. Because any other keeper, some keepers would have probably, you know, in that situation, would probably came out, hesitated, tried to go back, and then I think if that had happened, I think that would have looked far, far worse than what actually happened. Don't get me wrong, he shouldn't have came out. There was no reason to really, but in a way, I'm pleased that he made a decision, stuck with it. Because also, certain parts of the game require split-second decisions, and it's never always going to be easy. Because unfortunately, all of us at home get all the opportunities of watching replays and things like that. So if you're a goalkeeper, you've only got a split second to make a decision, stick with it, or don't go with it. And I'm happy that Fabry did make that mistake, but you know, he did learn from it. And I think against Tottenham, he didn't play too bad when we went to Wembley at Spurs. I thought he had a decent game there. Okay, he got beaten by 2 absolute worldy strikes, really, weren't they, from Lucas Moura, and also the fantastic free kick from Kieran Trippier as well. So I thought he did okay. He didn't start too badly, I felt, and also, you know, it sparked a bit of a debate on Twitter whether or not who was our best goalkeeper, and it was quite an open debate. Lots of people suggested their reasons why they thought Bettinelli was the better keeper, why Fabry or even Rico was, really. And also, in my opinion, it really did open a wide debate, really. And obviously, Bettinelli got the next run. He's actually been in goal since Burnley. He's had a consistent run, a longer run than Fabry had. And in my opinion, I think Bettinelli's done well, fantastic in goal. I think he's really earned that England call-up. However, I think his performances, in my opinion, he's played okay. He's not done too badly, but I think it still leaves the door open, I think, for someone of like Rico or Fabry. If they get another game, and whether it's outside of the league in a cup competition, as we know Rico has. So I think if that door's still open, as I said, for one of the other 2 to come in and really stake a claim for that #1 position. I don't think Bettinelli's really staked a claim properly for it, and I still think it's wide open. Don't get me wrong. Looking at this squad, I think the goalkeeping position is probably the most open position we've got in the whole of the squad. I think there's so much competition there, and I think all the keepers are really of a similar ability. So it's not as if we've got one keeper who stand out head and shoulders above the other 2. I think all 3 are of a similar quality and all jockeying for that position to start every week in between the sticks. So obviously, Rico came in, has played 2 cup games for us in the Carabao Cup. I actually went to the game against Exeter, and I actually had the opportunity to watch him up close and personal. In that game, he had absolutely nothing to do that day, apart from one shot in the first half where Matty J went through, struck the post, And that was the only proper shot he actually really had to face, and he was well beaten by that shot, in my opinion. From where I was sitting, he wasn't anywhere near it. Hit the post, but other than that, a couple of routine catches, distribution, the usual stuff. Didn't have much to face at all, really. It was a quiet evening for him that day. Obviously, he played against Millwall. He did let a goal in, a Tom Elliott goal. I think it was from a set piece, I think it was. So he's done. In my opinion, he's done what he's had to do in 2 cup games. In my opinion, I do think he should get a go at Cardiff. I think, looking at the way Marcus has played, I do think he has done well, but I'd like to see maybe Rico get a go in between the sticks, just to see what we've got with him as well in terms of a league game. But if Slavisa might look at it and think a game at Cardiff, is it the best way to really give him a full debut against a team where the ball's going to be coming up on top of the centre halves, a lot of throws into the defence? It's really going to test his punching and his distribution skill, especially from like direct balls into the box. And also direct balls coming forward straight up from the back. So obviously a Cardiff are a side who like to get the ball from back to front very quickly. And maybe Slavisa might look at this game and think it's probably not the best time for him to get a debut. He might stick with Marcus in goal. I think that would probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. If Bettinelli was still picked on Saturday, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think it'd be a wise decision, in my opinion, if he was picked. But I'd personally love to see Rico in goal. He's in my opinion, he's like a blank piece of paper. Really, we've not, we can really get to work with him. We've not hardly seen much of him at all. Unlike Fabry, who's played 2 proper Premier League games, we've seen what he's like. He also played that game at the Cottage in pre-season against Celta Vigo as well. So I'd like to see Rico get a go. I don't think he's. In my opinion, I think he can't do any worse than what both the other lads have done. I don't think really you can do any worse than that. I think both keepers have done okay, and I don't see no reason why Rico would come in and do any worse, in my opinion. I think he's played at Sevilla a lot. He's had that good experience of being in and around the first team environment at a higher level, in and around that Spanish league where Sevilla have done very well, established themselves as European contenders quite nicely as well a couple of years ago. So it'd be good to see him get a go. Whether or not, it all depends, really. I think at the moment, there's also that other side of the argument, really, where people looking at it thinking we're moved into mid-October now, we still haven't got an idea of who our proper first-team keeper is. And in my opinion, I don't think Slavisa knows his proper first-team keeper, because as we know, with Marcus Bettinelli, he's never actually started the season as number 1. When the likes of when David Button signed 2 seasons ago, he came in and everyone thought he would be the number 1. He started he started the season off. Similar to last season, he kind of got ditched towards the end of the season for Marcus, who came in and helped us towards that playoff push in 16-17, and also last season as well, where he only played half the season, but in that half season, he performed better than what David Button did in his first half of the season. When Button first signed, though, I thought he was a good signing. Against Newcastle on that opening day, he was a very good keeper, I felt. He had a number of good saves that day, but he didn't really build on it. And you do question, as I said before, whether Slavisa really rates him, and if the goalkeepers we've got at the moment, Slavisa doesn't rate at all, to even warrant starting them, because I think if Slavisa really rated the likes of Rico or Fabry, he'd put him in over Marcus, regardless of what the fans are saying. When you're a manager, that's the one thing you don't listen to, really, is fan opinion on who they think should be starting. Because if you're picking a team based on what fans are saying, then you really shouldn't be managing the club, in my opinion. So I do think that Slavisa probably doesn't rate the keepers, but it's a tricky one, really, because the recruitment, I think it's been good recruitment. But if he doesn't rate the goalkeepers, then why the hell have we signed them for? Because they're both, like, if you're Fabry and Rico, you've come to this club, come to Fulham to sign for us, hoping to be a number 1, because you've obviously been number 1 at Besiktas, Sevilla, and you come in here with your chances thinking, I fancy it, number 1 for me. And I'm surprised that they've really been on the bench, but I think Rico will get a go Saturday. I'm really hopeful he will. I'd love to see him get a go. Really try and put a good performance in and really suggest to Slavisa that you've got a third choice here who's going to cause you another problem and give you a headache selection-wise throughout the rest of the season. And quick, before we end this, it's only been a 9-minute video or so, or potentially 10-minute. Couple of bits of transfer news that came through. Obviously, there's been that link in the summer through AC Milan defender Masaccio, and it's come up again. I think ahead of January. I think Slavisa might be looking to try and buy him. I don't know too much about him, really, but I think he'd be a good signing. I think he'd be a player who's obviously a top European centre-half. He's been playing at big clubs like AC Milan, Villarreal, no small club in Spain either. So he's been playing there for a couple of years, Argentinian as well. So I think that'd be a good signing. And also there's been talk of Edin Dzeko suggesting whether or not he'd want to come back to the Premier League. He seems up for it. I mean, 32 years of age, I still think he's got plenty of class still in him, plenty of legs still in him. He's scored plenty of good goals at Roma. I'd suggest it'd be worth a gamble in January. If he wanted to go, if you wanted to look for other avenues outside of Rome, then I would happily try and lodge a bid in for him. I think he's a world-class striker. offer so much up front to help Mitrovic as well. And that, if we would sign them two, that'd be a perfect January window. Try and shore up the back, and then try and get someone else who can also add another dimension of goals as well, because we just can't rely on Mitrovic. And in my opinion, I think if we look past Mitrovic, and if he were to get injured, we offer nothing up front. So you have it, guys. There is the Black and White edition 2. If you do like it, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new as well. We'll see you all next week. Cardiff review out, preview, out Friday. Black and White view out this time next week again. So thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And we'll see you all soon.